Good evening and welcome to the historic Watertown Civic Arena, the legendary home of the Watertown Arrows. You're watching Arrow TV, the best high school sports broadcast produced entirely by Watertown High School students and community members. I am Cam Corey, and my partner today is Jason Himrick, former educator and coach of the Watertown program here.
Yeah, I got a little bit of middle school basketball coaching in and a little bit of high school, so I do know a couple of these kids yet.
And now a veteran on Arrow TV.
Well, I don't know, what is this, my fifth broadcast? I don't know if that makes me a veteran.
Oh, you're a veteran. You're a pro now. Today we welcome into the Civic Arena the Rapid City Central Cobblers, and it's a homecoming of sorts for the Rapid City Central coach of Taya Young. Our fans here, the faithful of the Watertown Arrows, know her as Taya Miller. We'll talk a lot more about her as this afternoon progresses. Watertown does come into today's action with a record of 2-9, and they are now in the number 16 spot in the PowerPoint standings, while Rapid City Central enters this afternoon at 5-6 and right in the middle of the PowerPoint standings. So both teams looking to improve on their SODAC 16, hopefully bursts and matchups. Of course, every team would like to host that SODAC 16 game, and that's what Rapid City Central is going to try and do today by getting a win.
Yeah, they're going to definitely try to make a run here this last part of the season and see if they can creep up into that top 8, where I think Watertown probably knows we're going on the road, but it'd be nice to move up at least 2, if not 3 spots, and not have to play Brandon, O'Gorman, or a Rapid City Stevens team that really impressed me last night.
Yeah, this has really been a fun weekend. Yesterday we had 3 varsity games for the girls and 3 varsity games for the boys. Brookings, it was kind of a triangular of sorts between Brookings came to town, played both Rapid City schools. You had Watertown, of course, playing both Rapid City schools. So we've had a lot of basketball here in the Watertown Civic Arena, and I've enjoyed this format.
Yeah, it's a great thing to be able to just, if you have nothing going on, come out to the arena and take in some good basketball. Like I say, the Rapid City schools have brought some good kids out here, athletes, and especially that Stevens team that we played last night. What was there, 4 of them going on to the next level?
I think there was
3 going to Mount Marty, yeah. 1 going to Augie.
Yes, I think that's exactly right.
This Rapid City team has a couple, I think, that are looking to go on to the next level, so good athletes.
It is a good environment, and here we have, this is actually the second scheduled meeting. The first meeting was supposed to happen last weekend, and it was postponed due to the extreme cold and travel conditions. This weekend, much better, although I did hear out in Rapid City that they're getting some snow today. So hopefully the travel home for these folks will be just fine. But this is a postponement and creates this triple header. This is the first of a double header here on Arrow TV, so stay with us after this matchup for the Arrow boys versus the Rapid City Central Cobblers. For the Arrows, we talked about it. It's been a real challenging stretch. They have faced some of the top teams in the state in Brandon Valley, O'Gorman, Aberdeen Central, and this Rapid City Stevens team that we saw yesterday. Hasn't been any easy games really for the Arrows, but this group continues to compete and gain experience.
Yeah, I think, anytime you're playing in a game, it doesn't matter what it says on paper. You got to show up and you got to perform. And, today's another, I'd say this is an opportunity. Our girls have had some tough games, obviously, but they can't hang their heads. This is an opportunity, so I would like to think they're excited to get back on the floor today and maybe get a little bit of that bad taste out of their mouth from last night, because I think this can be a competitive one here if we, just a little bit more solid, a little bit cleaner with our passes and make a few shots, and we're right there.
When we talk about some of these players getting some experience for the Arrows, I think we have to talk about some of those underclassmen, Coach, in Lydia Stemwedel, Emmy Berglund, and Emma Olsen really impressed me last night. She came off the bench and made some really nice moves and shots. I think ended up with 6 or 7 points. And what does that mean for an underclassman at this level to get some valuable varsity minutes?
Well, I think, one, it gets them comfortable just to be out there. You know, sometimes you get out there that first time as a freshman and you're a little nervous. I think that's pretty natural. But I thought, I've seen Emma Olsen on the court a couple times, but last night I thought she looked comfortable. Yeah. It didn't look like the game was too fast for her. She just had composure. So that's good to see her settling in. Stemwittle, same way. I think, you know, she's had a couple games where it maybe hasn't been as easy for her, but she's getting put in a role where she's bringing the ball up sometimes in these hard trapping situations. So a little bit different role for her.
Let's take a look at these two teams and how they compare in putting some points on the board. Rapid City Central puts about 45.8 points per game to Watertown's 36.1 points per game. What does Watertown need to do, Coach, in your opinion, to get into that 45 and 50 points per game, which really makes you a lot more competitive?
Well, we've talked about turnovers all year, and I think that is kind of the tipping point where we give up turnovers, which means, you know, the opponent's going to have the ball that much more than we are. So we don't get the number of opportunities to come down and score, first of all. But then when we do get down in that half-court game, you know, making good passes, ball fakes, backdoor cuts, get the ball to the kind of that free throw line area, I say, where your player can turn and look, and they've got options to go to the hoop and score, kick it out for wide open looks. You know, and if we can settle into that and get those wide open threes, I think we can knock them down. But the threes that we've been taking, I think, have been a little bit tougher than they need to be. So if we can just settle in and get those good passes, we'll get some good looks then.
You mentioned some good athletes out here on the floor. Let's start with Rapid City Central. The focal point really for the Cobblers is junior Leah Landry, and she really is one of the most productive, I think, all-around players in Class AA.
Yeah, she's one of those players that does a little bit of everything. She'll bring it up, she'll pop out, shoot a three, she'll post up. But I think she's kind of, I'm guessing she's their vocal leader a little bit, just from watching some of the games. You know, and then when their big girl, Chloe Shreve, if she goes out of the game for whatever reason, you know, Landry she fills that role for them. So, yeah, she's a solid one, and I think everything kind of flows through her for the most part. So if we can disrupt her a little bit and get her off today, that will benefit us greatly.
Landry is averaging 16.3 points per game and 10 rebounds, so she averages a double-double per game so far this year. She's received at least one offer that we know of from Bemidji State University there in Minnesota. And you mentioned Chloe Shreve, the 6'2" center for the Cobblers, and she leads the team, averages nearly 2 blocks a game, and she is signed to play basketball at St. Ambrose University. So, you know, a couple of players there for the Cobblers that are looking to go on to the next level. For Watertown, you know, this is a group that continues to battle through this demanding schedule, and we've got some players, you know, down low. We've really missed that down low presence in Malia Kranz.
Yeah, you know, we've got Malia and Layla Meester that just both are, you know, 2 taller players that just haven't been able to be on the floor. So especially Malia, who's a little more physical probably, and you know, I think it hurts us just not to have that presence on the court. Whether she scores 10 points a game for us or not, just having her on the defensive end, I think, has really put a lot of stress on our smaller players, our guards that have to go down low. And today's going to be, I think, that you're going to see that with the two, with Landry and Shreve going down low on us. Who's going to guard them and who's going to keep them out? That's going to be big, because I think Shreve really makes a living on offensive boards.
And that is going to be a miss again today in Malia. Malia, a 2-time defending champion in the discus at the AA level, and she is going on to the Air Force Academy and likely going to play or throw for them as well. In the backcourt, Coach, we've got Andy Olson, Lily Mack, Jordan Remmers. They're tasked with handling the pressure and creating some offense, but at times we've had some difficulty, maybe getting it up the court and on that really strong pressure defense. What do we expect out of Central here in that full court defense?
I think you'll see them definitely give us some pressure. I think teams realize that that's kind of been our Achilles, but they're not going to be quite in our face like Stevens was, so I think we'll be able to get it inbounded a little easier. The big thing I think our girls just really have to be able to do is meet a pass and turn and look down the court right away and hit that open person or ball fake and dribble it. But we tend to get that ball and go right into a dribble with our head down, and then we pick it up, we get double teamed, and that's when we're in trouble. So if we can turn and look for that pass right away, I think we'll be successful, and we can get into that half-court game with them, and then, you know what, then anything can happen at that point.
You know, one of the things that I marked down for my keys for the game here today for Watertown, of course, you talked about it, take care of the basketball. But I think secondary to that is win the first 6 minutes of the basketball game. We've got ourselves in such a hole, and it's hard to come back, and we don't have a team that's really hitting that three-point or getting those three-point plays very often. So I think it's important that we stay with them and win the first 6 minutes. Yeah,
I agree. You know, like when we played Brookings, we came out and hit the first shot of the game, three-pointer, and it was just a nice change. I think it just helps settle the nerves. You know, we get down to teams, get down 6-0 or whatever, and then you're kind of start getting that same feeling, oh, here we go again. And they can compete today. I think really the difference for us in Rapid City Central today is just that they have a couple post players that are going to be tough to deal with. So we'll see how that turns out.
And you've kind of talked about it. My keys for the game for Rapid City Central are very simple. Let Landry create space for others and allow Shreve to control the paint.
Yeah.
It is time for our national anthem and starting lineups. We're going to turn it over to the public address announcer, Mark Bellum.
Positive treatment of these officials will be expected at all times. Failure to do so could result in removal from this event. Athletic training services and care of our athletes are provided by Prairie Lake Sports Medicine through certified athletic trainer Faith Ulick. AeroCare, close to home. At this time, we ask you to remain standing for the national anthem. Please show proper respect to the flag by removing your hat. Stand at attention with your right hand over your heart. Veterans and active duty personnel not in uniform may salute the flag. Let's meet the starters. First, for the Rapid City Central Cobblers. Number 2 is the 5'7" junior guard, Persea Parker. Number 3, a 5'6" junior guard, Coley Cruz. Number 14, a 6'2" senior forward, Chloe Shreve. Number 15 is a 5'9" junior forward, Leah Landry. 22, 5'7", senior guard Olivia Pierce. Assistant coach Cedric Collins and head coach of the Cobblers, Watertown Zone, Ty Young. Meet first the Watertown Arrows Ball Girls, Brooke Sherman, Lydia Schaefer, Harper Larson, and Paisley Deal. And now your Watertown Arrows, number 4 is a 5'7" junior guard, Andy Olsen. Number 5 is a 5'6" junior guard, Lily Mack. Number 12, a 5'7" junior guard, Jordan Remmers. Number 20, a 5'9" senior forward, Ellie Furley. And number 42, a 5'6" junior guard, Kinsey Russell. Assistant coaches, Mackenzie Bulow, Jesse Hunt, and Jay Bengals. Head coach of the Arrows, Chad Rohde.
And there you have it, both teams on the floor, officials are ready, and we are just about set for the opening tip here in this AA contest between the Rapid City Central Cobblers and the Watertown Arrows. The Cobblers will start with Leah Landry, a junior, Chloe Shreve, a senior, Coley Cruz, a junior, Persea Parker, a junior, and Olivia Pierce, a senior. Ellie Thury for Watertown is going to tip off, and the tip does go to the Watertown Arrows. Lily Mack is going to control the offense, go to the top of the key of Andy Olsen. Looks like Central is in a zone. Shots up and does go out of bounds. Central will take possession.
There we were able to get that ball right to that free throw line I talked about pregame, and it produced an open look. I mean, we didn't get the shot down, but that's what we're going to need to do to get those free looks.
Pierce now with the dribble, gives it off to Cruz. Cruz is running that offense for Central. Goes down low where Shreve is at, and Shreve is going to be called with a travel. So good defense for the Arrows. And Remmers tries to break that press and just overthrows her teammate. And that has been, you know, unfortunately for the Arrows, and there's no way to sugarcoat it. Yeah, that's been the issue.
That's an unforced error. I mean, that's not because somebody was defending her well. She just missed a pass, and, you know, we just got to clean that up.
Shots up by Parker, and Parker gets the Central Cobblers on the board with 3. Thury sees a cutting Kinsey Russell, and that's what the Arrows need to do. They can break that press, and they're going to have that opening, and they are able to break it with Kinsey.
Thury did a great job getting the ball, turning and looking right away like we talked about pregame, and they produced a layup. So you beat pressure by breaking it like that.
Shreve, the 6'2", out on the wing, now gives it off to Parker. Steal by Russell. Russell has numbers. She's going to go in, takes it herself, goes off the glass, misses it, and rebound by Thury. Thury outlet, sit to the perimeter in the corner. Remmer shoots, and 3. That is a bullseye for Jordan Remmers. Jordan Remmers, the junior. She runs the point for the Arrows. Puts the Arrows on top 5-3.
Good start for the Arrows. That's what we talked about, just wanting to get out early and not dig a hole.
Nice battle inside between Landry and Thury, and Thury's going to win that battle. So we're going to need to see a lot of that here today for the Arrows.
Thury's had a nice couple games in a row now. She was player of the game against Brookings, and she earned that. And she played solid last night as well.
Andy Olson, the ball fake, then goes inside out. Now Russell shoots off the glass, too strong. Rebound comes down to Coley Cruz. Coley Cruz gets it off to Shreve on the right perimeter. Shreve's going to go inside the lane. She shoots and gets the roll. Good, tough basket for Chloe Shreve, the 6'2" senior forward. Russell all alone. She shoots and a little too strong. We're going to see
good offensive board by Andy Olson there.
Foul is going to be called on Persea Parker, the 5'7" junior guard. Persea Parker has just a great family story. We'll talk about her and as this afternoon goes on as well. Andy Olson for three. No good. Rebound comes down to, well, it looks like a scrum, and the Arrows are going to come out of that one with the rebound. Inside to Thury, and that is a foul on Persea Parker. That's going to be her second. We'll see what Coach Young does. Coach Young leaves her in, or if she'll make a sub, and it does look like she's going to go to a sub as the Arrows make a couple of substitutions themselves. Lydia Stemwedel, the freshman, in for the Arrows, as is Gabby Olson.
Eighth grader for Rapid City just came in, Emma Casey.
Emma Casey has a basketball lineage herself.
A lot of good young basketball players in this state, I think, especially in girls basketball.
Shots up by Lily Mack. Lily Mack has her first three of the day. Arrows up 8-5. Get the roll, and that bucket is in for Leah Landry. Leah Landry will go to the free throw line. She does average a double-double in her games.
You'll see her get to the line a lot. Usually she just has that type of game where she's a little bit bullheaded, I think, and I mean that as a positive, because she has the ability to just, I'm getting to the hoop somehow. Like here's another example. She does those types of things. So another unforced error, ball fake. We backdoor cut that, and we've got a layup probably.
Landry now with 4 in this opening quarter. Remmers on the top of the key, and it looks like Landry punches that out. Just about gets another steal, as we're going to have Kinsey Russell's going to check in, and Andy Olson both will come back onto the floor for the Arrows.
Yeah, it looked like Kinsey Russell got a little dinged up there early, maybe tweaked her ankle, and she looks like she's fine now. So
steal by Olivia Pierce, and looks like Andy Olson might get the steal back, but we're going to have a jump ball. Possession does go to the Cobblers.
Possession Cobblers.
Cruz will inbound. She looks, and she sees Landry just had a seal on that backside, and Cruz saw it and got it right to her. So good pass in. Landry now with 6, as we see Russell drives the lane, shoots, tries to go over Landry. Tough, tall task for the undersized Russell, as we see a nice drive with the left side, and that is Emma Casey, the 8th grader.
Another 8th grader that doesn't look like an 8th grader the way she's playing.
Not from a dribble drive like that, but we see the other side, and senior got Landry to go to her right and opened up that lane for Kinsey Russell. Kinsey Russell goes in, and she's got 4.
You know, one thing about Landry is Oh, what was I going to say? I totally forgot. That old age.
It happens.
The old age.
Jump ball is called.
Oh, what I was going to say is, you know, she's listed at 5'9", but I when she plays like she's 6 foot, I think. She just has that ability. I don't know if her arms are a little bit longer, but she just plays bigger than she's listed.
She looks taller than 5'9".
Yeah.
I mean, you have Kinsey Russell, who's, you know, 5'7", right there, and she looks like she's much taller. Good move inside, and Callie Ellis works strong and gets her own rebound and gets 2 points. So the Arrows trying to match up with the strength down low, which the Cobblers are trying to get into.
Nice to see something inside like that for us. So, you know, we've just struggled to do that. I know Kelly Ellis has gotten in a little bit more here lately, and I thought she did a pretty nice job last night.
She's a strong girl, good presence, and we saw that on that rebound, backside rebound there for Josephine Pierce, a freshman, 5'6" freshman, just a young guard, getting some play time for the Cobblers.
Good take.
It's nice to see the Arrows are competing here in this first quarter, and this is something we talked about. They've got to win that first 6 minutes, stay within themselves and within the game, and so far this has been good to see as we see Jordan Remmers go to the free throw line.
Yeah, I feel like this is some of their better basketball they've played early in the game, especially. I mean, they played similar like this against Brookings, but I thought Brookings and us were both probably a little sloppier, but this is a cleaner game. And like you said, we're competing, which is good to see.
Jordan Remmers gets that one to go. She now has 3 points in this matchup. Baseline drive, now kicks it to the corner, shots up by Casey, and Casey gets it to go. That is 4 points, I believe, for Casey. Again, just an 8th grader. Lily Mack shoots, hits the front of the iron, rebound comes down to Central. Landry tried to push it up the court and just overshot Shreve, and it goes out of bounds for a turnover. Ellie Thury will check back in for Callie Ellis. Callie Ellis came in, did a nice job.
Yep, gave us some quality minutes there.
Andy picks up her dribble, now gives it to Mack. Now it's Remmers in the corner. Back to Russell. Russell drives, floaters in, no good, but she fights for her own rebound. Rebound does come down to Coley Cruz of the Cobblers. Landry now goes to work, spin move. Punches it out, strong left hand by Josephine Pierce. Rebound to the Arrows. Arrows will maintain possession. They'll be underneath their basket. Lily Mack puts it into Russell. Russell drives baseline, spin move, she's working, and just gets caught up on that second rotation steal for the Cobblers.
That's a tough thing for Kinsey. She has to play a little bit bigger role as far as, you know, the players that she tends to go up against are just, she's giving up height, and she gets down into that situation. It's hard, especially when you have Shreve down there at 6'2", just waiting for you.
We'll see Emma Olson. We talked about her, one of those young developing players who I think is gonna have a good career here on the basketball court. She checks in, as does Lydia Stemwedel. That foul, last foul, was called on Ellie Thury. Coley Cruz setting up her offense for Central. Down low to Cruz, good move, or Shreve. Chloe Shreve gets the bucket to put Central up 19-13 after the first quarter. It's a good one here in the Watertown Civic Arena. We have our sideline reporter, Mason Mogg, reporting. We're going to turn it over to Mason.
All right, I'm Mason Mogg here with Bobby Miller for an interview. So Bobby, your daughter is now a coach here for Rapid City Central. What's it like seeing your daughter now as the head coach back in Watertown?
It's been a real pleasure to see her come back to her hometown, and she's making us all very proud, especially her dad.
Yeah, and then so she went to Watertown, won a state championship here, and then she went on to the University of South Dakota, won the women's NIT tournament. Now she's coaching. What has that journey been like as a parent?
It's had a lot of ups and downs, but most of all, a lot of wonderful times and great times to celebrate, and I've enjoyed every second of it. So now we're hoping to win a state title when she's at Rapid City.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Back up to you guys in the booth.
Yeah.
And thank you. That is Mason Mogg reporting here on Aero TV, and meeting with Bobby Miller. Again, Taya, long time and one of the greats out of the Aero program, and her dad, Bobby, is also one of the greats out of Aero athletics and a state
Hall of Famer in football, right?
Wrestling.
Wrestling, yeah, that's right. Wrestling.
Hall of Famer out of wrestling, state champion out of wrestling. We didn't get to see Taya's mother, Jody.
Yeah, basketball star down in Harrisburg.
She was a basketball star in Harrisburg and a Hall of Famer there.
Yeah.
So, and I believe Taya was she put into the Hall of Fame this past year with her dad, I think.
Yes, she was. That's right.
So we've got a couple of Aero Hall of Famers in that Miller family.
I think Taya was just one of the best instinctive players I've seen in Watertown. She just had a knack for the ball and a knack to get to the rim and score. Right-handed, left-handed, didn't matter. So she was one of those players that you had to account for.
We see Landry goes up, and she's asking for a foul right to the ref. Not called. Rebound does come down to the Arrows. Kinsey Russell with the three-point shot.
Yeah, if we could just get a couple of those to drop. They're good looks. Definitely good looks.
That should be an over and back, and it is over and back. That'll be a turnover as we see Callie Ellis will be checking in. And Annie Cummings, another former Aero basketball player. She went on and played collegiately as well. And, you know, she was one that I loved watching play. She was just aggressive, great player, had knee injuries, unfortunately, when in high school.
Yeah.
But she's saying, go Taya.
Yeah, she looked up to Taya quite a bit, and well deserved to have Taya be looked up to like that, because she earned that. And yeah, Annie was Energizer Bunny for us when we played. And yeah, it's too bad she had the injuries, because I think we would have been pretty good there a couple years with her. So.
Well, thanks for tuning in, Annie. And we have another Aero. Darren Van Meter says, let's go Arrows. Darren is a super fan of the Watertown Arrows, living in Sioux Falls. And whenever they play, whether it's boys or girls, he's there. He's in the crowd. So appreciate you tuning in as well. If there's any of our Rapid City Central fans, chime in. Let us know where you're watching from and who you're supporting, as we have Landry going to the free throw line. Does not get the front end to go.
I feel like the free throw shooting this weekend maybe hasn't been as good as coaches are probably hoping for. You know, when we played Brookings, I felt like that was one of the keys that helped us stay in the game at early and then win it at the end. Andy Olson made some big free throws at the end there and just iced it for us.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what team has been playing. Free throws have not been one of the success points. As we see Callie Ellis goes in now, gives it back to Mack. Remmers to Gabby. Gabby has it stolen. Persea Parker back in. She does have 2 fouls. So they are being careful with her as they get down to Landry. Landry, another big seal on Kinsey Russell.
No backside help.
She now has 8 for Central. Callie Ellis working low, goes up. That's a tough task going against a future collegiate basketball player down low, and Landry wins that battle.
You know, the problem there for Callie was, you know, she got the pass inside, and our guards just kind of stood and watched. Nobody cut, giving her a potential pass to somebody for a layup, and then she kind of got stuck there. You can't be a spectator when you're on the court. When you pass the ball, you gotta move to a spot that makes it easy to pass to you.
Aubrey Malou, 5'9" senior forward, in for Central. Stemwedel getting trapped, now gets it to Mack. Mack works it across, now to Gabby Olson. Gabby with right-hand dribble, picks it up, gives it to Mack. Mack's open, she shoots just off the front of the rim. Leah Landry with the rebound.
Those are those good looks that just, we got to start seeing some of them go for us.
Shots up by Parker.
Be successful.
No good. Andy Olson to Mack. Now Stemwedel open, short corner, too strong. Rebound by Aubrey Malou.
That's a shot you don't see very often anymore in this day and age.
No, you
that
don't.
Little 14-footer on the side.
Persea Parker gives it off to the left wing of Pierce. Pierce tries to go into Landry, and Landry's saying, "Hey, a little bit higher.
Yeah.
I got the height here."
It's good defense by Stemwedel. You know, she's got some longer arms. I think she was able to reach up and tip that, but we did have some backside help that time.
Emma Casey back into the game, as is Josephine Pierce.
You know, Landry's kind of just a warrior out there. I don't know if she comes off the floor unless she's in foul trouble.
Working hard down low, and that is going to be, not sure what the call
Travel.
was. Travel. They did call her. I didn't see
Yeah,
the
just drug that pivot foot just
Okay.
a little. Luckily for us, she worked herself into a nice spot there, but just, you know, maybe got bumped a little. Who knows?
And we see that in the replay just a little bit as Remmers gets it across the 10-second line. Central now comes back into a zone defense. Stemwedel on the outside perimeter gives it off to Olson. Olson stuck. Now back to Remmers. Olson drives, and that's going to be off of Thury. And that defense that they dropped back into there, it appears Central plays a pretty aggressive zone defense there. They're quick in that.
Yeah, it's almost like a matchup zone. You know, they kind of play with that man-to-man mentality, but they still play their area like a zone. I'd just like to see our girls, when they get the pass, to snap it, you know, reverse it, and not look to dribble right away.
Sure.
I think we could get their defense moving a little more, then we can do the ball fake and drive. But I do like that we are looking to get inside a little bit more with our dribble and get closer to the rim.
Steele, Russell's got it. The Arrows have numbers, tries to go inside to Remmers, but Landry, running the court well, is able to break that up. We're seeing Emmy Berglund in for the first time here for the Arrows. She wears number 10, now gives it off to Andy Olson. Andy Olson back to Jordan Remmers. Russell looks. Again, that is that matchup zone that you talked about that the Cobblers are in.
They do a nice job of
shots up by Thury.
There we go.
Bullseye.
Ties it up. Big shot.
21-21, and a timeout for the Rapid City Central Cobblers. Big shot, and that's something that you talked about a couple of times, that Ellie Thury has a nice shot from the perimeter.
Yeah, I just think, you know, right now she's playing with some confidence. She's given us a little spark here the last 3 games that we've really needed. And, you know, I was just kind of actually talking about Rapid City, I think, does a really nice job of rotating on defense. And we weren't getting those looks, and finally we get one, and we see it go in. So that's nice that we force them into a timeout. You know, and for Rapid City right now as a coach, you know, this isn't where you want to be with the team that you're playing in Watertown with the season they've had right now. You know, you'd like to be probably up by 10, 12 points at this point with a little bit breathing room. And so the longer Watertown stays in this game with them, they start to maybe tighten up and get that what-if factor going on. And, you know, we have nothing to lose. We should be playing loose the whole night and, you know, making shots and just getting on the floor. You know, that's, if we can continue to play that way, we can be a dangerous team here, I think, second half. So
one of the things that I've noticed here in this game, and, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it really appears that there is a intentional flow with the substitutions with Watertown today. It seems like we're matching up based upon substitutions pretty well.
Yeah, you know, and I think, too, that, you know, the fact that we've been willing, we talked about it a little bit earlier, that we've been willing to put a few younger players on the court, getting that experience. It's going to pay off later in the season. It's going to pay off next year as we get, you know, graduation. You get new players that have to step up and perform next year. So
Emma Casey with the shot and a rebound tie-up.
Just some battling going on there, Cam.
Shreve and Kinsey. I like it. It's good stuff.
Yep, both teams.
Olivia Pierce back into the game. Emma Casey in for Central, the 8th grader. Her dad played at South Dakota State University. Mackenzie, we'll talk a little bit about him, just a fantastic prep player as well. Tried to go low. Landry in wait.
That's one of those passes where even if you do make it to her, you know, what's she going to do with it down there?
Jordan Remmers had the steal on Landry, and Landry got it back, and now the foul call. That will send Landry back to the line.
That's where I kind of was talking about earlier about just being kind of stubborn. Like, she never gave up on it and just compete. Like, oh, you just took that from me? You shouldn't have, you know.
First shot's up, and no good. Landry stuck at that 8 mark, which I think the Arrows would take that. Get 8.5. Limit her to 8 because she's going to get her points. She averages 16 points a game, so she's right at her average, and as long as they don't go too much over that, next shot's up, misses both of those. Again, the struggles at the free throw line for all the teams this weekend continues.
Yeah. That cold weather outside crept in here.
No good. Jordan Remmers had a clean look. Maybe rushed it just a little bit. Does go out of bounds. Central will inbound. Be inbounded to Olivia Pierce. Olivia Pierce, I believe, is a transfer into Central this year. Had played for Rapid City Christian. Pierce gives it off to Landry. Now skip pass over to that left perimeter where Coley Cruz is at. Cruz working, gets into the paint. Landry's in the corner. She shoots. No good, but down low is a Shreve, and she gets the rebound and is going to be fouled.
Yeah, there's Shreve, you know, we kind of mentioned earlier. She kind of makes a living on that offensive board. I think from what I've seen in some game film, she gets points that way more so than even just the posting up. But, you know, she will pop out and shoot a three-pointer once in a while. So we haven't seen that yet, but I've seen her set that high pick and roll, pop out, and they kick it to her, and she's open. She'll take it once in a while. So that could be one of those things that we see in the second half that if we're not accounting for it, it's one of those like, now what do we do, you know?
The Arrows are shooting 35% from the field here in this first half. The Cobblers shooting 42% from the field. Neither team shooting well from the free throw line. 17% for the Cobblers and 14% for the Cobblers. Emma Olson shoots and uses the glass.
That's a thin slice of bread there.
There it is. Emma Olson puts the Arrows up 23-22, 12 seconds remaining. Landry Wilson, is she going to get the last shot? She works into the lane, kicks it out, shots up. No good, rebound. Arrows are going to go into half, or are they going to put some time left?
There might be is there a foul there?
We'll see.
Who was it on?
They are calling a foul on, it looks like number 3, and that is going to be Coley Cruz then.
Oh, they're calling it. They're going to call the time. I think. So
they called the foul on Coley Cruz, which would have been on Central, and then time's out. So at the half, 23-22. This has been a good one.
It's been a good game. I don't. Is that our first lead going into a halftime? I'm not. I don't remember.
Well, we weren't leading against Brookings?
I think we were tied at home, but I don't remember when we were there. So I mean, definitely, you know, we talked about this in the Brookings game when Conrad was here. Like, you know, some of the games we've had, unfortunately, we're going in and we're talking about trying to improve, you know, our game, work on our game for future games. Today, just like Brookings, they're talking about how to win a game, and that's exciting. I would imagine there's some electricity in that locker room right now, and that's fun, you know.
That's got to be fun. And the other thing that, you know, I think, I know what I was going to say. I think we were ahead against Sturgis, and out in Sturgis, and it was that fourth quarter that we had that letdown, and they came out and beat us. So, you know, this would be the second time, and they're going to talk about coming back and winning this thing, and that's, I'm sure, what the conversation is in the Arrow sideline. We've got, again, Mason Mogg and Conrad Pitkin, our sideline reporters. They're going to turn it over. Halftime show.
At halftime here, we have Watertown at 23, Rapid City Central at 22. For Central, they have done really well trying to score on down low. They just need to keep working down low. But Watertown has looked really good on threes. So going into the second half, they need to play aggressive up top a little bit more. And then just keep scoring on the inside with that height disadvantage. And then now to Conrad for Watertown.
Yeah, as you said, Watertown's playing really good defense. You know, they've been scrappy. They've got some fouls, but when you're playing tough defense, you're just going to pick them up. And offensively, you said it, they're shooting the three really well. They shot a lot of threes tonight. They're making them. So one thing, they might be settling for a couple too many, but they have hit a lot of them. So, but maybe just spread the ball a bit more around, drive in. So, should be make for an interesting second half. We just want to point out after this game, about 5 to 10 minutes after this game ends, we will go live with the second game. The Arrow boys playing the Central boys. Watertown is going to go into that game at 10-1. Central will go into at 3-8. But Central did win last night, so it should make for an interesting game. So make sure to stay tuned for the rest of this game and stay tuned for the boys game. Back to the booth.
And thank you. That is live reporting by Conrad Pitkin and Mason Mogg. And by the way, something really special, a first time it's ever going to happen on Arrow TV is next game. We're going to have the first time where it is complete student broadcasters. And that has never happened before in any sport. So Conrad Pitkin and Mason Mogg are going to be in the booth and take over and call that boys game. So that's a first time, and that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, those two, they do a good job. You know, I can only imagine, and I'm just saying this because I'm not 100% sure, but their moms, I'm guessing, are just pretty smart. You know, they're well-versed, so I don't know what the dads are like.
Got to be the moms, huh?
Maybe I do. I don't know. A little dig there. But, no, those guys, they do an excellent job. We've talked about it. You know, Watertown, you know, we've got our kids in band and athletics, and I just think this is just another cool avenue for kids to get this experience. And who knows, we may see one of these guys on ESPN someday. Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me either. And, we've got a few minutes here, but Conrad, so my daughter was, I think, a senior when he was coming in, and she would give tours to the freshmen,
Yep,
you know,
incoming.
8th graders. And it just so happened to be that she was given a tour, and Conrad's like, I'm really interested in Aero TV, and how can I get connected? And
Sure.
she happened to be the right person that he talked to. And so coming in as an 8th grader, this was an interest
He was already
for
thinking
him.
about it, yeah.
Yeah, and is doing just a great job. When you talk about being on ESPN, we have the Remmers twins down at SDSU. They are actually running the cameras. They're running the back, the technical stuff for ESPN3 and those types of things. And they started here on Aero TV. Aero TV.
If I remember right, they went down for a game or two and got to sit, like the Aero staff went down and got to sit into their production booth during games and got to see that. And
they have been great down at SDSU. South Dakota Public Broadcasting has been great for Aero TV and our students here. We have taken them down and learned from them. And now there's actually a class at the Watertown High School, and it's taught by Kelly Brinka.
Oh, sure.
And it's a production class, and many of these students are in that. And so as you talk about, they may not be in front of the camera, all of them, but it is a great experience. A lot of involvement, and it's a lot of fun. So
absolutely.
We are live here at the Watertown Civic Arena on Aero TV for Dakota Land Federal Credit Union and DFS Insurance. We're going to take a break. We'll be back for the second half of this AA battle.
I'm Gabby Olson, and I'm a junior. If you ever visit my house, you have to see my really fat dog, Bogey. The person I looked up to the most is my dad, probably. When I'm not playing basketball, I like to golf. If I could take a high school class over again, it would be Algebra 2. If I could learn to play any musical instrument, I would play the piano.
Hi, I'm Andy Olson. I'm a junior. My favorite high school memory is going to Rapid last year. When I'm not playing basketball, I like to read. The person I look up to the most is probably my brother. If I had to eat one meal every day for the rest of my life, it would be probably steak. If I were a character in any movie, I would want to be Spider-Man, probably.
Hi, my name is Lily Mack, and I'm a junior at Watertown High School. My favorite high school memory is when we went to Rapid for basketball and the showers weren't working. The person I look up to the most is my mom. When I'm not playing basketball, I like to read. If I could be any animal, I'd be a giraffe. And if I could be any superhero, I would be Superwoman. If I won the lottery, I would save it all and donate it.
My name is Emmy. I'm a sophomore. My favorite high school memory is probably playing softball. The person I look up to most is probably my parents. When I'm not playing basketball, I like to play softball. If I could be any animal, I would probably be an otter. If I could be any superhero, I would be Superman. If I won the lottery, I would travel around the world.
Hi, I'm Jordan Remmers, and I'm a junior. My go-to meal is chicken bacon ranch. My favorite pro sports team is the UConn basketball team. My favorite TV show is Gilmore Girls. The person I look up to the most is my grandma. And when I'm not playing basketball, I like to hang out with friends and go to church. If I could travel anywhere in the world, I would go to the Bahamas.
I'm Malia Kranza. I'm a senior. The person I look up to the most is my sister Amara. When I'm not playing basketball, I like to sit around and sleep. My favorite meal to cook is ramen because I have it every day. If I were a pro wrestler, my name would be Pipsqueak. In a zombie apocalypse, the person I want on my team is Kinsey.
Welcome back to the Watertown Civic Arena. Cam Corey and Jason Himrick here with you this afternoon. We are at half where the Watertown Arrows are up by one, 23-22. It's been a good, exciting first half of AA basketball between these two teams. Central is shooting 42% from the field to Watertown's 36%. From three-point land, we have Watertown shooting 36% and Central at 17%. Big difference here is in free throws. Free throws for Central. They're only shooting 14% at 1 for 7 in this matchup. On the rebounding side, pretty even. 15 rebounds for Central to 18 rebounds for Watertown. And in the turnover category, they are both tied at 7 turnovers apiece. So here we have it. We've got the second half of this AA battle. Rapid City Central, they're in the middle of those power points. They're looking to move up. And the Arrows are at number 16. A win like this would catapult them into probably maybe ensuring that they get a SODAC 16 game as we see Landry comes out. And I think you're going to see a lot of that in this second half. They haven't been able to stop her. She's been sealing really well down low.
Yeah, she posts up very strong. And again, that's where we talked earlier, just not having a Malia Kranz down there to body up against her. That's probably a tough deal because you're going to get stuck with maybe Thury's the one that can kind of body her the best. But it's going to be important, though, to this next 2 minutes here that we don't give them a 10-0 run.
And that's what we're seeing. Chloe Shreve gets the block down here on the defensive side and then comes down and gets 2 points. So right now, Shreve is and Landry, your two probably best players right now, have come out in the second half and made their presence known.
They're establishing themselves. We just got to come down and just slow it up a little bit and not have to make a pass to somebody just because maybe coach called a play or something. Like, if they're not open, look for someone else. I know it sounds simple, but
Russell has number, sees Thury goes up, misses the bunny. Rebound by Shreve. Now Landry on the run, sees a cutting Porter. Porter gives it back out. Three's up by Coley Cruz.
So what's that, a 7-0 run right now to start the second half? So we got to calm down here. We got to get a good set here, get a good shot here.
That is Andy Olson, 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Thury's got an open shot. She shoots, no good.
Good look.
Porter gets Parker, excuse me, Persea Parker gets the rebound. Persea Parker is the granddaughter of Peggy Phelps and the late Russell Means.
Really?
Yes.
Did not know that.
Russell Means, of course, in Native American history, South Dakota history, and national history. He was a very well-known figure in AIM. Ran for president, I think, in 1988, I think. And then, of course, starred in The Last of the Mohicans, Natural Born Killers, and was a voice actor in Disney's Pocahontas. So, how about that?
That's pretty cool lineage.
That
is.
It's
a good story. We're forcing some errors here that just are, this is what gets us in trouble. And we had 7 turnovers that first half, and we've got what now, 3 to start this?
To start this third quarter. Yep. Landry guarded by Thury goes down. Good rotation. There we see the shot. It's got. I thought it was in, just a little too strong.
Good luck.
Andy Olson now is picked up by Parker.
Good at making that extra pass and having that open look. Now we're standing. We got to move that ball. Keep it going. There we go.
Shots up by Remmers. Remmers from downtown.
Much needed.
Jordan Remmers gets that to go.
You know, I was way out there, but the ball movement created that look. And if you're in the flow, you're in the rhythm, it doesn't matter if you're another foot off the line. It's, you know, it's a good shot. It's a good look.
Rapid City Central now up 29-26, but that was a big three-point shot by Jordan Remmers. We're talking about Persea Parker and her lineage. Her mom, Tate Wee, played for Rapid City Central in the 1990s, and Tate Wee, former Attorney General of the Ogallala Sioux tribe down there in Pine Ridge, and I've served, I got to know her in 2014, and we co-founded the USD Center for the Prevention of Child Maltreatment. And so nice. Tate Wee is her mother and just a great advocate for children. So if you're listening out there, Tate Wee, I say hi and hello to you. This team, and I think that's a lot about what I like about South Dakota athletics is it's not just about the wins and losses. It's about legacy, history, culture, and you know there's a lot of we heard it yesterday from a parent from Rapid City Stevens that talks about, hey, there's generations that have played for Stevens and Central, and you know, and we're seeing that right here. We've got Ty Miller with that connection to Watertown. I just think that's fun.
It is, you know, and you get some of those former players that were not just good players, but they become good coaches. And I think you're seeing it there in Rapid City with Taya continuing. You know, I think Alan Bertram was the coach there before, and I don't know if it was a year or two that he was there. Probably started planting some of those seeds, and Taya stepped in and is just, you can see it's growing. I think there's some energy within that Rapid City group.
Yeah, and we talked about it. You have, I think there's 3 transfers in to the Rapid City Central program. Last year, Douglas's top 2 players, and Shreve was one, and I think Coley Cruz were the other 2. They've transferred in to play for Taya, and then you've got the Rapid City Christian, if I'm right on this, Olivia Pierce, you know, transferring in. So she is creating, you know, a culture, and she's just a positive young lady. She knows her basketball. You know, I'm excited for her.
She's a type of person when you're around her, you just like her because she's such a good person.
That was a deep shot, and
she's
just
not
about
fake
got
at all. She's not a fake person. She is who you talk to.
Yep. Yeah, I enjoy to be around her. Just a fun young lady, and of course, just had a fantastic career at USD.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it last night, and that when they were playing in the WNIT, when they won it that year, they were playing Oregon, and that as a team, USD just shot lights out, and she got stopped at half court basically and nowhere to pass it, and the shot clock was running down, and she threw one up and made it, and it made top 10 Sports Center.
ESPN Sports Center top 10.
So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. As we see, Kinsey Russell will go to the free throw line. Kinsey Russell with 6 points on the day.
This will be big here early in the third quarter, but
she is around that 50% free throw shooter. So
we want to start making those, like against Brookings. That was really the thing that kind of kept us in that game when we needed it. And then at the end, it's what separated us. So
shots up, and she gets that one to go. 1 of 2.
I think we're 2 of 4 on the day, 50%. So we want to stay above that for sure. Extending, looks like we're extending a zone here a little bit.
Josephine Pierce is trapped. She's in trouble. And they are going to call a foul on Callie Ellis. Just a little bit too much body, so they'll call the push on Ellis.
I like that. Good idea. Just got out there a little late, a little body on there, so it was a good call.
And Tia Siquiros in for Central.
Yeah, I think it's Antonia, Antonia Siqueiros.
Antonia Siqueiros wearing number 10, a 5'6" sophomore guard for Central. So we welcome her into the second half. Ellis down low, and she is going to draw the foul on Chloe Shreve. That's going to be her second, I believe.
Yeah. Be nice if we could get the ball inside a little bit more, maybe get her in foul trouble. She has, I think, had a tendency to get like a second or third foul early in the game and have to watch for a little bit, and that would be big for us just to kind of even that height factor.
Stemwedel lost the handle of the ball. Now we go to the other side.
Nice pass.
Nice cut inside, and she's going to get fouled. Emma Casey, the 8th grader who doesn't play like an 8th grader.
No. Yeah, and we've talked about their inside game, but honestly, we really haven't seen their outside game yet, and they've got some girls that can knock it in. So, you know, as a Watertown fan, I hope we don't see that outside game, but they definitely have the capability of doing that.
Emma Casey, who is just at the line, misses that one. As we mentioned, her dad, Mackenzie, played for SDSU and was just a phenomenal point guard for Red Cloud down there. So it has that lineage.
Some good basketball back in the day.
I believe her mom also may have played some basketball and was a 3-sport athlete.
Callie Ellis with the 3.
Yeah, good for Callie.
Nice little inside out, you know. That's all created from a fake and driving and turning and kicking it back out. I mean, it sounds simple, but.
Good steal by Gabby Olson. Now over to Emma. Emma's the freshman. Skip pass to Kinsey Russell, nice. And Kinsey strong into the hoop.
5 points just like that for us. You know, we probably aren't used to seeing that very often this year. So for us to run off 5 points, get a little momentum here, get it to 2. Let's get another stop. You may force another turnover. That's a nice move.
With the drive, misses it, but good rebound down low by Emma Casey. Now out to Landry. Landry goes inside to Shreve.
We might have got away with one there, not sure.
Gabby Olson comes down with the ball, near steal. Kinsey Russell, and they're going to say a timeout by Coach Rohde, as we saw Kinsey Russell going after that one, and that's something Kinsey's going to do. She is going
right after it.
Yeah, she'll give up her body, and I know she has some shoulder, ankle things that bothers her, but
she keeps getting back up.
Keeps going. Yep, keeps playing. Believe she is intending on going to SDSU. She's a senior and going to study pre-veterinary medicine, I believe, is her intent. So one of the seniors that's just had a great career in multiple sports, and we like those multi-athletes here in Watertown. She played volleyball and plays basketball, and just a good athlete.
I think did she used to play softball too a few years back?
She does. I think she still plays softball in the summer, yes. Callie Ellis is going to be called for the foul.
You know, that's one of those where Emma will learn to catch it, get her feet under her, maybe make a ball fake and try to make a move or kick it back out. It's a tough shot, but you know what? I still like the look of it, attacking a little bit. You know, we've had a tendency this year, as the pressure is tough, to not attack very well. So to make a mistake like that, I wouldn't even call it a terrible mistake. It's just aggressive.
Casey for 3.
And every time we start crawling back in here, they make a big shot on us. So
Emma Casey, the 8th grader, now with 12 points in this contest. 3 over to Emma Olson on the right perimeter. Emma, good, strong take. She goes in, does not get the roll, but I would take that opportunity every time. Good move by Emma Olson.
Nice looking shot. She looked comfortable. I thought it was going. A little contact maybe, but nothing terrible.
Shots up by Coley Cruz.
Good box
Andy
out.
Olson's going to get the rebound. It's a one-on-one. What's Lily Mack going to do? She's going to attack it. A little far out, but she's going to get that foul, and she's going to draw the foul by Olivia Pierce. That will send Lily Mack to the free throw line. Lily Mack is a 64% free throw shooter. She averages 6 points per game, and first one's up and no good. So the free throw.
Yeah. Again, those are things that we got to make right now to just get to that fourth quarter, and we're going to be within striking distance for sure. But you know, anytime you can get to that fourth quarter where you're within 3 or tied or whatever, like we talked about it, maybe Rapid City tightens up a little bit, maybe not.
Mack does get that one to go, so she's 1 for 2 that trip free throw line. She's got 7 points in this game.
Nice move.
Casey again. Double figures for Emma Casey. Jordan Remmers looking to set up her offense. Now over to Kinsey Russell, the senior. She's looking to work, drives in, kicks it out, shots up. No good, but Russell tips that to Andy Olson. Another opportunity for Mack, no good. Andy Olson with the rebound. Now Olson's going to look to set up this offense. Good screen, Olson goes in, shoots, no good, rebound. Securos. Now Landry, quick spin move, no good.
It's a tough one though when you're going full blast there. But she just went coast to coast.
So after 3, Rapid City Central now comes up 39-33 on the Arrows, but the Arrows are up, or not up, but within striking distance.
You know, and that really, I think that lead really was that first couple minutes of the game. They came out on that 7-0 run, and then after that it was pretty even the rest of the quarter. So we just get a couple of shots to drop. We've had some looks today, definitely, and you know, just get a couple to fall, and again, we're right there. We're in a good spot yet. Hopefully we can come out this fourth quarter. We get the ball first. If we can get a layup here maybe, or get to the line. The 8th grader's been big today though.
Oh yeah, she has. She has been really, really big. She's in double figures tonight, and of course Landry's in double figures with 10. The big story, I think, is free throws. You know, Rapid City Central is 1 for 10 in free throws, so that's a big story. But really like what I'm seeing from the Arrows on the glass. Rebounding has been a challenge for them, and they're up with 28, and I think right now Rapid City Central at 24. So.
Yeah, if we can stay away from those turnovers like we did at the start of the third quarter, if we can play pretty clean here on out and create a little on them, you know, I think this game evens out fairly quickly. So this should be fun.
Let's do it.
Last
I like
8
this.
minutes here.
Good competitive games. I like this. So we have Mack. We'll get this into Remmers. Remmers will be picked up by Coley Cruz. Remmers works off a screen. She's still dribbling. Now to Mack.
Looks like Rapid City has their starters in, I think.
Mack shoots, no good. That's going to be saved by Landry. She is able to save it to Olivia Pierce. Olivia Pierce back to Landry. Now Landry's going to dribble, now to Pierce. Pierce drives in, tries to kick it out to Parker. Parker in the lane, left hand's up, no good. Gets her own rebound, gives it back out to Landry. Landry's going to reset. Pierce.
Just looking at the fouls, Cam, and Remmers has 0 fouls, which may have never happened before at this point in her career going into the fourth quarter. So that's good for us because she can get a little bit aggressive just like she just did and got a steal. So sometimes she's got 3 or 4 at this point, and she, you know, part of her strength is to be able to go out and try to create a little that craziness, if you want to call it, and get those turnovers. So.
Andy Olson, the junior, at the free throw line. She is a 53% free throw shooter, misses the first one. Andy still looking for her first points. Last night she was probably the bigger scorer and for the Arrows against Rapid City Stevens. Tonight she's been held to just that 1.
Yeah. Hasn't probably had as many shots as she did last night, but she did play a nice game.
The arrow's in a trap. They have to save it. They do to Wilson, and down low.
It's a good foul. I mean, at least she didn't get a clean shot, so make her earn it.
Chloe Shreve will go to the free throw line, and Kinsey Russell will pick up that foul. Kinsey Russell has now 2 fouls. First shot's up. And Rapid City Central 1 for 11 from the free throw line here in this game. Something that Taya Young's probably going to work on.
Yeah, she'll see that on the stat sheet. Like I said, that was a good foul. Now it proved to be a good foul, but you know, the layup compared to make a team that's struggling at the line prove it.
Shots up by Russell, no good.
We've missed how many of those today? Probably 3-4 of them, you know, and I know they're contested. I know you're going up against taller players, but if we get a few of those to foul, you know, we're probably in the lead right now. But Rapid City could say, hey, if we're 50% from the free throw line, we're up by 15, you know, so.
Olsen over to Russell. Russell right-hand dribble. She's in the lane. Kicks it out to Lily Mack. Lily Mack now to Russell. Russell
that's good defense.
Picked up by Landry, and it's going to be last off of Leah Landry.
She anticipated that ball fake really well. She didn't she's not shooting this. I know she wants to fake and drive.
Yeah, Leah Landry, a nice player. She's a leader for this Central Cobbler team.
I'd say we probably feel pretty good that she's only at 10 points right now, and I know she averages maybe a little more, but.
Oh, Coach Rohde not agreeing with this call, and neither was the arrow player. I think that was Andy, but they do call it off of last touch by Andy Olsen. Ball does go to Central. Landry skip past, open 3, in, out, and back in for Coley Cruz.
Big possession here for the Arrows. We need a basket here.
And they're going to call Cruz on the blocking foul. So that will be Cruz's 3rd foul in this matchup. Tate Wee, thanks for the shout out. Appreciate you. And thanks for all you do for South Dakota's kids as well. Stemwedel with the ball.
Yeah, don't we sometimes too often get caught up in wins and losses, and you know, we get kind of down on our kids once in a while if they're playing well or not. But there's more to the story, isn't there, Cam?
There sure is.
And the important work that she's done and you've done.
Well,
you know,
and what these ladies are going to do, that go, you know, playing sports is teaching so much leadership culture.
Absolutely.
It is so much more than just winning, and they're the future.
Yeah, how to work with each other. You know, sometimes you don't agree with what your coach says, but you got to accept it at times and trust in it. So yeah, there's a lot of life lessons there.
Sure is. Russell now over to Thury. Thury with the shot, and just a little too strong.
Good luck.
Good rebound by Landry. Landry's pushing it up the court. She gets it to Cruz. Cruz looks low, and down there is Chloe Shreve. Chloe Shreve now with 9 points, and we're going to get a timeout. As Central has grown this lead up to 10, so a good timeout by Coach Rohde. What do you do right now? What's Coach Rohde going to tell the Cerro players?
Well, I think, you know, we've still got 5.5 minutes here almost, so we can't panic, but we definitely want to come down and run something that we are comfortable with and try to get a basket, no matter if it's a layup, a free throw, whatever it is. We'd like to. We've been a little ice cold here. You know, we were scoring pretty well there for a while, and all of a sudden we've kind of cooled off. So it would be nice to get a basket here. And then I think you might have to consider now maybe full court, some type of a trap, see if we can get a steal. You know, when we have pressured them, you know, when we brought our pressure out a little bit, we have gotten a couple steals. So this might be what he's doing. It might not even be about offense. It might be the next defensive possession too. So
both of these teams are at their season averages in total points scored. Rapid City Central averages 45.8 points per game. They're at 44. And Watertown averages 36.1 points per game, and they're at 34. So both teams looking to go over their averages in this game.
And the question is, can the Arrows get to 50?
That is,
at this point, that's probably about the number they're going to have to get to, because I find it hard to believe that Central won't be able to put up at least 6 more points.
Emmy Berglund in for the Arrows. She's guarded by Landry. Now gives it off to the other freshman of Stemwedel. Now to Callie Ellis. Back to Berglund. Berglund dribbles with the right hand, goes baseline, and passes it to no one. Landry now tries to go quick tempo up the court and just overthrows Coley Cruz.
That's just kind of a, sometimes a young player, they get themselves in a position, and once you leave your feet, you better know where you're going with it, and she just really didn't have a place for it. So she's going to learn that. She's going to get better. She's a gamer.
Yeah. Stemwedel has an open lane. She goes in. Underhand layup. Good drive by Lydia Stemwedel.
The freshman. Nice move.
She's such a positive young lady too. She's one you like to be around, and that smile, it's just, yeah, she's fun. Shots up, and Callie Ellis working hard, and
she won that battle.
To get the tip.
Yeah.
Yep. The
Callie
Arrows
will
come
battle
out of there.
with you. That's one thing she's not shy about.
Down scrum on the ground between Siqueiros and the Arrows. And the Arrows are going to get possession. This is now an 8-point ball game. Lily Mack will inbound. She gets it into Russell. Russell squares up. Good defense by the Central Cobblers. Gets it into Ellis. Ellis goes high, goes in, no good, fights on. Landry comes out with the basketball.
I think I'd almost consider too, like posting up maybe a little bit farther out to try to draw that defender out, getting the ball and then turning and opening up, and get into a one-on-one situation. Maybe you can get a step through or something like that. But those are those individual moves you got to work on. And I don't know if, Callie wasn't out, I don't think, last year.
I don't think she was either.
And I think she, I don't know if they talked her into coming out, but it's been great to have her here.
I'm glad she came out.
She's putting in some good minutes today. I can see Coach talking to her about that very thing, that little step through maybe.
And she's only a junior. I mean, she can come back and play another year,
She's
and this is
athlete.
a good development. And, yep, I agree with that. So we've got the Arrows down by 8 here with 4 minutes left. So plenty of time. Time really not the issue.
Yeah, just gotta get a good look here. Gotta knock one in, and then again, I think it'd be worth seeing us maybe put on a little full court, see if we can get a steal, get a quick little layup, get it to 6 maybe, or get it to 4 at that point. And then all of a sudden, like we talked about, maybe Rapid City tightens up a little bit. I don't know. The 8th graders, she back on the floor. Yep. Emma Casey. She does a really nice job, though, when other people have the ball, of finding that open spot on the court.
Yes.
And sometimes people look like they're really good passers, but when their teammates find that open spot and give them passing lanes, you're easy to pass to then. And you still have to see them, but a little double team there. Maybe get a steal.
Looks like had the opportunity. You see Jordan Remmers, and she can play loose right now, and that's what she's able to do because of her foul situation. She attacks that basket, does draw the foul, but sends the Cobbler to the free throw line, and that's been an area that the Cobblers have not been able to execute well here in this game. Chloe Cruz, the 5'6" junior guard, will go to the free throw line. Jordan Remmers picks up her first foul.
Yeah, and it's probably hard to think that they're not going to start knocking in some free throws, but the fact that we aren't in foul trouble might be the thing to do with being aggressive to try to get the steal. And if you foul them and put them on the line, maybe you got to live with that at this point.
Coley Cruz did get both of those. She's got 8. Jordan Remmers on the drive, and she is going to be fouled. That will send her to the free throw line. So good drive by the junior.
Can we get off the 50% shoot now? If we can knock a couple in here, I think we're like 4 for 8 right now.
Jordan Remmers is a 50% free throw shooter. She doesn't get the front end of this 2 shots. Statistically says she's going to get the second.
Yep.
And she does.
It's crazy. The numbers don't lie.
They don't. Seeing a full court press now by the Arrows. Now they need to drop back, get into the numbers. Shreve goes in, she shoots, she's got it.
Nice take. What an advantage, though, to have Landry bring that up and then kick it to one of your guards on the wing, and then they can take it down farther. I mean, that just gets the ball up that much quicker. That was a good look.
It was a good look.
Got tipped, I think.
Steal by Russell. Russell picks up her dribble, now gives it off to Lily Mack. Lily Mack goes into the lane, goes up with the left hand, no good. Rebound comes down to
good jump ball.
Olivia Pierce, and then it's going to be a jump ball. Possession goes to Rapid City Central. And you can see Coach Young talking to the official, doesn't like something.
I think she wanted to travel there, maybe thought she drug her foot. She may have, I don't know, you know.
That's the competitiveness of this coach.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think they've been called a couple times for travels. And, you know, as a coach, you want to get one back, you know, so you're always fighting for. I remember when I was coaching, I'd be on the sideline and I'd think, oh, dang, if we didn't get taken to the cleaners today, and then I'd watch the game film and go, wow, they actually reffed a pretty good game. So not an easy job.
No,
and
the best officials in the house are all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know. Talking to Craig Williams, he's like, I can't get any officials hired. I said, there's a whole bunch sitting in the crowd. Just give them the paycheck, right?
Yep.
No, it's not an easy job, and it's easy for us to criticize and emotions. I think most of the referees are pretty good about knowing that parents cheer with emotion. So,
and the regional referee evaluator is in the house for this game. Yep. He's here. He will go and grade these officials afterwards and talk about you know, what they did well and certain areas to improve. Landry gets that to a wide open Chloe Shreve. Chloe Shreve now puts the Cobblers at that 50-point mark. Arrows need a score.
We need to put a little streak together here, get 5 or 6.
Good drive by Olsen, goes up for the left-hand layup, just missed that bunny. And that's 4-5, as you've talked about and pointed out here this game.
If we talk about the missed layups and the missed free throws for Rapid, we're probably evened out and probably about where we're supposed to be score-wise.
Yeah.
But again, the opportunities the second half that we've probably let some go, obviously. But Rapid City, they cleaned some things up, I felt like. And
in the second half.
Definitely.
Yep.
They've played a little cleaner game, and their 2 big girls have stepped up and helped put this game in a situation where they can now win it.
Well, this is the 3rd game in a row, right? Or 3rd game over 2 days for Rapid City Central, right? They've played Brookings and then, you know.
And I think, did they play? They played Thursday night, I think, too. Possibly, I can't remember. They may have.
So maybe it's only 2.
2 for sure, but they might have played Thursday night. I don't remember. I have to look here.
Rapid City Central is in that middle area in the PowerPoints, and they've made 22 state tournament appearances, but their most recently was in 2022. So they've never had a state championship. Rapid City Central girls has never had a state championship. Something obviously we heard Taya Young's dad, Bobby, during that great interview with.
Mason Mogg,
Mason Mogg, talked about, hey, we want to get a championship, and he's wearing red.
Yeah. You know, and some of that's, you know, from her USD days, I'm sure, too, right? No, parents always going to support their kid, which you should, and we certainly understand that.
Oh, down low, wide open is Olivia Pierce. And she gets that to go. 52-38 in this fourth quarter.
Tough way to finish out. You know, I mean, it leaves a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth as the Arrows, but they played pretty good game today overall. This just got away from them at the end. But you know what? You look at Rapid City's defense here at the end, and they've really picked up the intensity. Like right there, they're not quitting.
Nope.
And they're up by, you know, 14 points. And they almost look like they're down by 6 and have to get the ball back. That's how hard they're playing. So
we're going to have a point left. You can see, I'm going to say a timeout. You can see the Central coach is not agreeing with that.
If we did get the timeout, I think there's only going to be about 0.5 on the clock, maybe.
Can't be much.
That's a competitor right there in her. So fighting to the end. And you know, when you have a program that you're trying to get to become to that next level, which I think they're making that step, you as a coach, you sometimes have to be the example of fighting for everything you get. And I think she's always been one of the harder workers on the court anyhow. And you can see it with her coaching too. So, and that's just one example to her players. So I would imagine that in basketball practice, she probably puts the shoes on once in a while.
Oh, I would imagine she probably does.
Who wants to guard her?
That's right.
Maybe after the game, I'll have to see if I can talk to some of their players and just see how.
Yeah, and see if she does that.
Right?
Yeah.
I call her old, but I remember when she was a 6th grader playing basketball, I was like, this kid's going to be special. And she turned out just like I thought she would.
You know, I think I put her in the top 3 all-time female athletes coming out of, Watertown, and, put her with Tara Heiser-King and Jamie Berry. I never got the opportunity to see Jamie Berry, but I've read a lot. And
she went on and had a great career at North Dakota State.
Yeah. Well, good drop. Yeah, nice job. Torrance Tipton with the shot there, and that was a good drop by Coach Rohde. A minute left in this fourth quarter. Stay with us for the Dakota Land Federal Credit Union post-game show.
You know, and Taya wasn't one of just a good basketball player. She was pretty good in track.
Oh, yes.
They had some good girls track teams back then, so.
Yeah, and volleyball. She was a great volleyball player. She was that 3-sport athlete that was the best in all 3. Yep. 50 seconds remaining, and we're going to see another timeout called. Looks like Coach Rohde called that timeout for the Arrows.
You know, and here's an example, I think, 50 seconds, and people in the crowd might go, come on, why are you calling a timeout? The game's over. But you know what? You still, like we just talked about Taya teaching her kids.
He's doing the same thing.
He still has to teach his kids. We're not quitting. I mean, you never know. And I mean, 14's pretty hard to overcome, but you still gotta fight to the very end.
Yeah, you play to the very end, you coach to the very end, and he's mentoring that, to his players.
You want to spill over to the next game, and we have a game that I think we go down to Lincoln now, which is hopefully a game that we can win. But we want to go down there and play with intensity and not take anything for granted. I mean, we're not in that position to take anything for granted, I don't think. But you still want to instill that fight, that finish.
Will be inbounded to Remmers. Remmers gets it across that 10-second line. Now over to Kinsey Russell. Kinsey Russell looks. Back to Thury. Thury shoots and rims around and out. Rebound. It comes down to the Cobblers. Wilson. And that is going to send. Is that going to send Coley Cruz or? Actually, Olivia Pierce, I believe. Long hair from the side. Can't really. There we go. We can look at our monitor. It's 22.
Olivia Pierce, yep. Good player, senior. One of those players that's a leader for them that, they're going to miss her next year. I gotta chuckle a little though. Taya still, she's talking to Mike Ruth, official.
Yeah.
He was a coach a long time ago up in Holman, South Dakota. When I played against him, he was the assistant, and he's been in the game, been around it for a while.
Good drive by Russell.
Try to get a steal here. Keep playing, keep playing.
Kinsey Russell with 11 points in this game for a team high for the Watertown Arrows. And she is the leading scorer statistic-wise on the season for the Arrows. This will send Leah Landry to the free throw line. Again, Leah Landry, one of those players looking to go on and play collegiately. And of course, Chloe Shreve, number 14. She's got 13 points on the day, and she is committed to St. Ambrose in Davenport, Iowa.
You know, I think if somebody told Coach Rohde that Landry would end up with probably 10 points for the day, he'd have felt pretty good about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, it's hard to have moral victories, but you look for the wins and you look for the things that your team did, and that would be something that, hey, we did well on that area.
Absolutely.
So after a good game, the fourth quarter kind of got out of hand for the Watertown Arrows, but Rapid City Central does defeat the Watertown Arrows 53-40. And we've got a Dakota Land Federal Credit Union Player of the Game announcement.
Yeah, and I think, you know, just from what we talked about, what we saw, the young 8th grader, Emma Casey, came in, had a really nice day. I don't remember what she finished up with there for points, but it was probably around that 14.
Yeah, I think she was team high for Rapid City Central.
Just a nice job. I mean, what a future I think she's going to have. So congratulations to her, and we'll get a T-shirt, and we'll find her after the game and present that to her.
Might be our very first 8th grader to get the Dakota Land Federal Credit Union Player of the Game. So congratulations to Emma Casey. Congratulations to Taya Young, the coach, and a homecoming of sorts for her. And I know my daughter, being the head coach down in Yankton for the volleyball, they like to come back to Watertown. Of course, they want to come back and win.
Absolutely.
And,
absolutely.
You know, congratulations to her for that. And hey, we had a good game here. Stay with us. We'll have the boys coming up right away on Arrow TV, and that's going to be a first ever as well. We're going to have a student-led broadcasting crew in Mason Mogg and Conrad Pitkin. So stay with us for that coming up right after we go here. So last parting thoughts for us?
Yeah, you know, I think for both teams, you know, there's things that they both obviously want to work on. For Rapid City, free throw shooting is going to probably be a big story for them. Maybe didn't get that separation early like they wanted, but they really started clamping down, and they played a nice fourth quarter and did what they were supposed to do. For Watertown, I thought we played really 2.5 to 3 pretty good quarters of basketball, and fourth quarter just, you know,
got away from
we may be getting a little tired. You know, we don't have maybe as many people that play like other towns, so fatigue could be a factor. I don't know, but shots weren't going. If we make some of those, who knows? But it's something to build off of. So.
All right, next game up for the Lady Arrows is Lincoln down there in Sioux Falls. I'm Cam Corey. He's Jason Hemrick. And from the heart of Arrow Nation, this has been Arrow TV, straight, true, and on target. Good afternoon.